Cardi B cries bitterly after Stef digs unexpected bombshell. The night started like any other, quiet, calm, almost suspiciously peaceful. The city lights outside shimmered through the glass walls of the penthouse, reflecting off polished floors and half-finished glasses of wine. Cardi B sat curled up on the couch, phone in hand, scrolling aimlessly, humming to herself. There was no warning. No sign. No red flag. And then, everything changed. When Stefan Diggs walked in, something felt off. Not in the dramatic, explosive way, no raised voices, no slammed doors, but in that quiet, terrifying way where your instincts start screaming before your mind catches up. He didn't smile. He didn't joke. He didn't even sit down right away. Instead, he stood there. Hands clasped. Jaw tight. Eyes heavy. "Cardi, we need to talk." Those 5 words hit harder than any headline ever could. The silence before the storm. At first, she laughed it off. Cardi always laughed things off. That was her armor. Her shield. "Boy, you serious right now? You scaring me," she joked, patting the seat beside her. But he didn't move. That's when her smile faded. The air between them thickened, heavy with everything unsaid. Seconds stretched into eternity. You could hear the hum of the city below, and the pounding of her heart above it. Finally, he spoke. "I didn't plan for this. I didn't want it to come out like this. But you deserve to hear it from me." Her phone slipped from her hand, landing face down on the rug. "What is it?" she whispered. "The bombshell." He took a deep breath, one of those breaths people take when they already know the damage they're about to cause. "I'm stepping away. From us. From everything." The words didn't register at first. "Stepping away, like a break?" she asked, blinking rapidly. He shook his head. "No. I mean, for real." That was it. The world tilted. Cardi stood up so fast the couch nearly tipped. "For real how?" she snapped, voice already cracking. "You can't just say that like it's nothing." His eyes dropped to the floor. "There are things you don't know. Pressure. Expectations. Decisions being made without us having control." Her breathing became uneven. "So talk to me. That's what we do." But he stayed silent. And silence can be crueler than truth. The tears no one was supposed to see. That's when it hit her. Not slowly. Not gently. Like a truck at full speed. Her knees buckled as she sat back down, hands covering her face. The first sob escaped before she could stop it, raw, broken, uncontrollable. "This can't be real," she cried. "After everything, after what we talked about, after what you promised me." Her shoulders shook violently as tears streamed down her face, soaking into her sleeves. This wasn't the confident Cardi the world knew. This was a woman blindsided by the one person she trusted. "I gave you my heart," she said through sobs. "Not the superstar version of me. Me." Stef finally knelt in front of her, reaching out, but she flinched away. "Don't," she whispered. "Please don't touch me right now." That hurt him too. But not the way it hurt her. A love cracking under pressure. He tried to explain, carefully, imperfectly. About outside forces. About timing. About life pulling them in opposite directions. But none of it mattered. All Cardi heard was loss. "You knew this would destroy me," she cried bitterly. "And you still waited until now?" Tears blurred her vision as memories flooded in, late-night talks, laughter, private moments no camera ever saw. The future she had quietly imagined collapsed in real time. "I would have fought for you," she sobbed. "Why didn't you fight for us?" He had no answer. And that was the loudest part. After the door closed. When he finally left, the door clicked shut with a softness that felt almost mocking. Cardi stayed frozen for minutes. Maybe hours. Then she broke. She cried until her chest ached. Until her throat burned. Until there was nothing left but exhaustion and heartbreak. This wasn't a public meltdown. No cameras. No social media. Just a woman alone with shattered expectations and unanswered questions. The world would later speculate. Fans would debate. Headlines would scream. But none of them would ever fully understand what it felt like in that moment. When love doesn't explode, it quietly slips away. Here's a very long, high-drama, YouTube-style fictional story, written for entertainment purposes only, with the emotional intensity and pacing you like. Backhand index pointing down. Cardi B cries bitterly after Stefon Diggs' unexpected bombshell. The room was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of silence that presses against your chest, making every breath feel heavier than the last. Outside, New York buzzed with life, horns blaring, sirens echoing, laughter spilling from sidewalks, but inside Cardi B's luxury apartment, time felt frozen. Cardi B sat on the edge of her bed, phone in her trembling hands, staring at a message she had read over and over again, hoping, praying, it would somehow change. But it didn't. And that's when the tears came. Not the soft, silent kind. These were bitter, uncontrollable sobs, the kind that shake your entire body, the kind that leave your throat burning and your heart aching in ways words can't explain. Because what Stefon Diggs had just dropped on her. Nobody, not even Cardi herself, saw it coming. The moment everything changed. Just hours earlier, things felt normal. Almost too normal. They had laughed on the phone. Teased each other. Talked about plans, future plans. The kind of conversations that make you believe you're building something solid, something real. Cardi had even joked, "Don't be acting mysterious now," laughing it off like she always did. But Stefon didn't laugh back. Instead, there was a pause. A long one. And in that silence, Cardi felt it, that uneasy feeling in her chest. The instinct she had learned not to ignore after everything she'd been through. Then he said it. Calm. Controlled. Almost rehearsed. A bombshell so unexpected it felt like the ground disappeared beneath her feet. The bombshell that shattered her heart. Stefon told her he needed to make a decision, one that would change everything. A decision about his career. His future. And the direction his life was heading. What crushed Cardi wasn't just what he said. It was how he said it. No hesitation. No emotion. No reassurance. Just facts. Cold. Heavy. Final. And in that moment, Cardi realized something terrifying. She wasn't part of the equation anymore. Cardi's world comes crashing down. As soon as the call ended, Cardi dropped her phone onto the bed like it had burned her skin. She stood up, pacing the room, hands gripping her hair, trying to process what had just happened. Nah, this gotta be a joke, she whispered to herself. But it wasn't. Her chest tightened. Her breathing grew shallow. And before she could stop herself, her knees buckled as she sank onto the floor. That's when she broke. Years of strength. Years of pretending nothing could hurt her. Years of telling herself she was prepared for anything. All gone. She cried bitterly, loud, raw, unfiltered. The kind of crying that comes from betrayal mixed with fear. The kind that isn't just about love, but about hope. Why this hit different? Cardi had been through heartbreak before. The world knew that. But this was different. This wasn't chaos. This wasn't scandal. This wasn't a messy public blow-up. This was quiet. Calculated. And that somehow made it hurt even more. Because Stefon hadn't yelled. He hadn't argued. He hadn't fought for reassurance. He had simply chosen something else. And Cardi was left wondering where she fit in his life, if she ever truly did. The internet senses something is wrong. Fans noticed it almost immediately. No posts. No stories. No signature Cardi humor lighting up timelines. Just silence. Then came the blurry paparazzi photos, Cardi stepping into a black SUV, oversized sunglasses hiding swollen eyes, jaw clenched like she was holding herself together by sheer willpower. Social media exploded. Why does Cardi look like she's been crying? Something happened with Stefan, I'm telling you. She looks heartbroken. And behind closed doors, she was. A love caught between worlds. What made the bombshell even more painful was the timing. Cardi was at a crossroads herself, balancing motherhood, music, business, and healing. She didn't need perfection. She just needed honesty and reassurance. Instead, she got distance. And the realization that sometimes, love isn't enough when two people are moving in different directions, no matter how strong the feelings are. The tears that spoke louder than words. Late that night, Cardi sat alone in the dark, mascara streaked down her cheeks, staring at the city lights outside her window. She wasn't crying anymore. She was empty. The kind of emptiness that comes after the storm, when the shock fades and reality settles in. She whispered one sentence into the quiet room. I really believed you. And that hurt more than anything else. What happens next? No official statements. No confirmations. No denials. Just unanswered questions. Did Stefan underestimate how deeply this would hurt her? Was this truly the end, or just the beginning of something even more complicated? And can Cardi B, one of the strongest women in the industry, open her heart again after yet another unexpected blow? One thing is certain. This unexpected bombshell didn't just shake a relationship. It broke a moment. Shattered a dream. And left Cardi B crying bitterly over a future she thought was finally secure. And the world is watching, waiting for what happens next.
짜릿한 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주 행비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼 하늘을 날며 어느새 제주 바다가 도시가 보이곤 해. 그 도시에는 또 다른 내가 하늘에 떠가는 비행기를 올려다보고 있겠지. 머물다 보면 어느새 제주도